Socialism and Marxism may soon be consigned to history. They survive and prosper to the point of near monopoly control of education and politics since the first Blair government, and still in large parts of the British and American establishments. Thanks to science and technology, an unproductive caste developed to exploit much of the surplus profit from the commercial activity they are so keen to denigrate. At times, it seems that ideologues think they have a right to sequester wealth instead of distributing it to those they claim to be helping, while contributing virtually nothing to national prosperity. At least the capitalists they despise risk something. Their only risk is to kill the goose that lays the golden eggs. The stench of hypocrisy is overpowering. The Labour government is beyond rash. It appears to be suicidal. Unless very serious political steps are taken to reduce distribution of money without return in a productive manner, those holding national debt will lose patience and refuse further lending. Then the government will be forced to make a choice: produce a flood of new money and generate catastrophic inflation, or take the cruel and potentially inhuman step of brutal welfare cuts while strongly promoting commercial activity. Both options will cause deep suffering, particularly for the poor, but perhaps the second choice will prevent an almost total loss of control. Civil disorder will arise from both. But in the inflationary option, the ability to command police, armed forces, and the backbone of a justice system will be most degraded. Extreme inflation is more effective in destroying society because it's indiscriminate, undermining fundamentals of exchange where, at least with the welfare option, confidence of individuals and businesses in productive activity being worthwhile can be maintained. But the domination of politicians, fixated and controlled by ideology of the closed system of socialism, the foundation of communism, is so entrenched that a catastrophic inflation might well be their preferred option. At least they will feel they did the right thing, with a warm, cosy feeling of virtue, such that they are blind to the inhuman consequences of their contempt for reality. Years ago in London, close to Cambridge Circus on the borders of Soho and Theatreland, tired and under some stress, I walked with a distant look in my eyes, seeing only enough to avoid colliding with others on a busy pavement. People around were little more than things to be avoided in my walk to meet friends. A dishevelled figure, likely a lost soul, about 3 meters ahead cursed me with a genuine anger because he thought I was blanking him. Shaken, I swiftly darted down a side street, relieved he did not follow to make his point with fists. That this memory from 35 years ago is so clear speaks of the anger of people who feel they're scrapped and discarded from society, no longer humour, just awkward objects to be treated accordingly. Ideological conceit of self-entitled virtue, as opposed to my stress, makes the humanity of people down on their luck invisible. Socialists and communists are rather good at this. This is not to say other ideologies on the right or religious do not cause similar blindness. I remember on the train going into London to the dentist in Harley Street with my siblings. Close to the centre of town, near Battersea Power Station, belching smoke from its chimneys, we passed rows of Victorian slums, children playing in wrecked and abandoned cars while washing dried in the breeze, carrying specks of dust from the steam locomotive as we approached Waterloo. This, and the day some children tried to kill me at school, turned me into the worst nightmare my mother could have. I became the philosopher, now writing endlessly on the internet, with the apparent futility of a dog barking at the wind. But my siblings saw nothing. The only thing that halts the march of ideology intent on social and human destruction is full-on intellectual assault. The mask must slip. If it's obstinate, it must be removed by radical criticism that provides a credible alternative. Hypocrisy of know-alls and profiteering utopians is the cause of the absolute self-entitlement of authoritarianism. And business is not immune from deliberate self-entitled blindness. Kodak's monopoly was the problem. It always thought it had a God-given right to 100% of the market. Shitaka Komori, CEO of Fujifilm, remarked on the fall of the Kodak empire. It was not because of outside forces, but from internal failure. An employee invented the world's first portable digital camera, and the company held key patents for the LEDs now used in billions of television screens, but spectacularly failed to exploit what it had. Worse, top management knew about the camera, but deliberately refused to accept that luck had put future in their hands. Instead, dazzled by the past and what appeared to be an endless profit stream, executives happily accepted corporate paralysis. Their caged minds imprisoned and cauterized corporate imagination and foresight. Imagine a group photo of obscenely overpaid vice-chancellors of British universities, and you'll see the type, like the Kodak top executive management, who wrecked one of the most profitable, long-lived corporations the then world ever knew. Kodak destroyed itself from within. Those vice-chancellors, virtually all ideologically captured members of the self-entitled, taking without risk caste, might well destroy higher education as thoroughly as the demise of Kodak. Replace them with legacy UK politicians, and, unless we're lucky, similar destruction could await not just the economy, but the entire society, which they have been so busily blaming for causing the wrongs and dismay for which they are responsible. Thank you for listening. We're getting this election day today, so it's going to be quite interesting what happens. This sort of poll of how unpopular the current government is could well, hopefully, bring a change of the current regime, or at least the present spectacularly dishonest Prime Minister. Anyway, bye for now.